Good morning, Michael here. Today looking at Psalms 22, specifically verse 2 to 5 with the exposition. So let's read those verses from this Psalms that's subtitled, Why Have You Forsaken Me? Verse 2. O my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I find no rest. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. Verse 4. In you our fathers trusted. They trusted, and you delivered them. And verse 5. To you they cried and were rescued. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. And now we look to the treasure of David. Verse 2. O my God, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not. For our prayers to appear to be unheard is no new trial. Jesus felt it before us, and it is observable that he still held fast his believing hold on God, and cried still, My God. On the other hand, his faith did not render him less importunate, for amid the hurry and horror of the dismal day, he ceased not his cry. Even as in Gethsemane, he had agonized all through the gloomy night. Our Lord continued to pray even though no comfortable answer came. And in this he set us an example of obedience to his own words. Men ought always to pray, and not to faint. No daylight is too glaring, and no midnight too dark to pray in. And no delay or apparent denial, however grievous, should tempt us to forbear from importunate pleading. Verse 3. But thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. However ill things may look, there is no ill in thee, O God. We are very apt to think and speak hardly of God when we are under his afflicting hand, but not so the obedient son. He knows too well his father's goodness to let outward circumstances libel his character. There is no unrighteousness with the God of Jacob. He deserves no censure. Let him do what he will. He is to be praised, and to reign enthroned amid the songs of his chosen people. If prayer be unanswered, it is not because God is unfaithful, but for some other good and weighty reason. If we cannot perceive any ground for the delay, we must leave the riddle unsolved, but we must not fly in God's face in order to invent an answer. While the holiness of God is in the highest degree acknowledged and adored, the afflicted speaker in this verse seems to marvel how the holy God could forsake him and be silent to his cries. The argument is, Thou art holy. Oh, why is that thou doest disregard the Holy One in his hour of sharpest anguish? We may not question the holiness of God, but we may argue from it and use it as a plea in our petitions. Verse 4. Our father trusted in thee. They trusted, and thou didst deliver them. This is the rule of life with all the chosen family. 3 times over is it mentioned, they trusted, and trusted, and trusted, and never left off trusting, for it was their very life, and they fared well too, for thou didst deliver them. Out of all their straits, difficulties, and miseries, faith brought them by calling their God to their rescue. But in the case of our Lord, it appeared as if faith would bring no assistance from heaven. He alone of all the trusting one was to remain without deliverance. The experience of other saints may be a great consolation to us when in deep waters, if faith can be sure that their deliverance will be ours. But when we feel ourselves sinking, it is poor comfort to know that others are swimming. Our Lord here pleads the past dealings of God with his people as a reason why he should not be left alone. Here again, he's an example to us in the skillful use of the weapon of all prayer. The use of the plural pronoun our shows how one with his people Jesus was, even on the cross. We say, Our Father, which art in heaven, and he calls those our fathers, through whom we came into the world, although he was without father, as to the flesh. Verse 5. They cried unto thee, and were delivered. They trusted in thee, and were not confounded. As if he had said, How is it that I am now left without succor in my overwhelming griefs, while all others have been helped? We may remind the Lord of his former loving kindness to his people, and beseech him to be still the same. This is true wrestling. Let us learn the art. Observe that ancient saints cried and trusted, and that in trouble we must do the same. And the invariable result was that they were not ashamed of their hope, for deliverance came in due time. This same happy portion shall be ours. The prayer of faith can do the deed when nothing else can. Let us wonder when we see Jesus seeing the same pleas as ourselves, and immersed in griefs far greater than our own. Well, just to enjoy the meditation, Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.